Welcome back, everybody. Joining in the ninth here. Got our fingers crossed for a Pagan save. 5-4. Got Santana at the plate. Swing and miss on the first pitch. Come on, Pagan. Come on.
Man, it'd be nice just get a nice clean inning here. Goodness gracious. It's felt like momentum's gone downhill ever since Lux got thrown out in the third.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think that momentum can carry that far away, but I don't feel like we've had anything positive since then.
Feel like we kind of missed a chance there in the bottom of the seventh with those two runners on, but hated not to pick up an insurance run right there. But
yeah, I was gonna say something about how it's refreshing that we're starting to try to hit sack flies and get runners over, and then immediately in the seventh we don't get there.
You're right.
Yeah. Well, and it's the guy that we've been talking about being a professional hitter all year, and
I know
that really doesn't come through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's the match. If you could pick somebody, righty on lefty, it's a Lux situation. Runners on first or second and third, and and it just doesn't happen.
Come on,
Emilio.
I think you're about maybe half a second ahead of me here, but I'm trying to follow on game day here to beat you to the punch. So you just react, and then we'll go with it.
Sounds good.
It's weird how game day's faster than anything that streams.
All right. And I don't care how old Carlos Santana is. He always scares me at the plate.
Oh, absolutely.
Always scares me at the plate.
He had that rocket off of Singer too.
Yeah.
If he gets him there, I'd see he maybe even goes into the sixth. But I wasn't too mad about him pulling or Tito pulling Singer there.
No,
I guess it ends up working out. I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit later. But boy,
yeah, it's one of those things that. How long do you flirt with disaster? I feel the same way with Nick Martinez. I mean, you look at those two dudes and you just think the fifth or sixth.
Yeah. The numbers weren't great for Singer against Cleveland. So the fact that he was able to get 5 with only 3 runs.
Yeah, take that as a win all day.
Yeah, I thought we were printing shirts again there early, man. Brady Singer and the run supports.
I know.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Wow.
It's crazy how much they get when he throws.
Oh, Mike, are you ahead of us? Oh no.
No. It's all right.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay.
Trust me.
It's hit hard, is what game day says.
It's hit hard, but
it's hit really hard. It's going back. Will Benson on the track, keeping his toes in.
Makes the catch.
Oh, right. Boy, we got one. We got one.
Right. I'm a little ahead. I'll pause for a little bit.
Yeah, you're good, man.
Oh man, that looked like it. That looked like that game time home run we've seen way too often.
Oh my goodness!
You made my mic heart skip a beat.
I know. I'm sorry.
Well, and T, I thought I heard you do the about a minute ago, and I knew you were ahead of me, so I'm like, oh no. There we go. Yeah, it's weird, man. Like I don't know if it's internet or what it is, but we get that little bit of a skip. I felt like last week you and I were right on, T, and then this week I'm a good pitch at behind, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how that works.
And how but behind game day, I'm a full at bat behind. Oh, he check swung twice. Holy smokes. There we go. 2 down. Come on. Everybody on your feet. They said
all right, come on.
Let's get up.
It's time.
Come on, Emilio. Let's go.
Let's go.
I gotta put the chat away. The chat's starting to give me. Chat told me it was 2 outs way too early.
Depending on where you're at, we get a little bit of
update. They'll mess with you too, man. You got to be careful. They'll start
I know.
That ain't happening.
Like the stream, everyone. We need to like the stream. Like Wins here. We need all the help we can get.
Let's
steal one against Cleveland.
All right. We got no 1 count. Come on, baby. Come on. Stay in it.
0-2.
That is the one weird thing about game day too, is it'll wait and to update on you. Like when it's the end of the game, it'll wait. Like it feels like that last pitch, last out always takes forever to actually load up.
Right.
All right, here we go. Come on. Finishing.
Oh, ring him up.
Thank you, Molly. Or thank you, Reds batter up. Boom.
Oh, There we go.
Let's go. Let's go.
Love it.
All
Love
right,
it. Love it.
Let's do a show, boys. Let's do a show.
Yes,
Sounds
sir.
good.
See you on the other
We'll see
side.
you.
High drive, left center field, racing back to the wall, Bourgeois. The Reds are National League Central Division champions. In the air, left center field. Did he? He did! He did! Reds win! Win! Liner to right field. Genius, the first run ever. With 4 home runs in a game. Can you believe it? In the air, down the right field line. Doesn't have a chance. The Reds have won on a 3-run home run on opening day by Ramon Hernandez. A strike away and out away is Homer Bailey. Ground ball to third. Frazier gloves. Throw to first, and Homer Bailey, for the second time in his major league career, has tossed a no-hitter. Oh, gosh. Are you kidding me? Holy Moses, the second player in major league history to hit 7 home runs in the first 10 games. In the air, and the Reds win. What a dream beginning to a career of Jay Bruce.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Chatterbox Reds, proudly sponsored by DSC. It's me, Corey T, alongside my brother Eric Phillips, the usual weekend crew. But tonight we've got a new guy joining us, man, on the camera side of things, Mike Hart. Mike, welcome to the show, brother. I know you've been doing a lot of the behind the scenes work and a little bit of the dirty work and that sort of stuff. So welcome to have you, man. And you must be our good luck charm on a 5-4 win by the Cincinnati Reds tonight. Mike, welcome to the show, brother.
Thanks. I appreciate you having me. I do usually do the pregame show with Ricky on Fridays, and I think we are now 7-2 for when we do pregame show. So I'm not going to take credit for it, but it sure doesn't hurt. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's what was a good night at the ballpark, man. Got the offense going again. Got the offense sparked finally. Eric, you got a little box score recap, man, to get us going.
Yeah, your Cincinnati Redlegs take down the Cleveland Guardians, which I actually was listening on the radio for a little bit of it earlier, and I think I heard Chris Welsh say Indians at least 5 times. So if we say it tonight, apologies, but it's going to happen. So, but your Redlegs are winners, taking them to 22-24 on the season. Winners 5-4 over the Guardians. Here for a box score. The scoring got started in the bottom of the second inning when Gavin Lux singled, followed by a Spencer Steer double. Tyler Stevenson struck out, but then a Will Benson home run made it 3-0 Redlegs. Followed that up with a McLean single, and then he advanced on a TJ Friedel fielder's choice. Santiago Espinal then singled, and a throwing error by shortstop Gabriel Arias made it 4-0 Redlegs there in the bottom of the second. We picked it back up in the bottom of the third when Austin Hayes hit a home run over the left field wall, and that made it 5-0 Redlegs. That followed up with a Gavin Lux double. A Spencer Steer ground out moved Lux to third, and on a Tyler Stevenson fly out, Gavin Lux was thrown out at the plate from right field, pretty deep right field, so deep to the point that on the radio they actually said it was deep enough to score the run, and then he was still thrown out, and they were apologizing for it all game long. But that seemed to be a very big momentum shift. It's weird to say in the bottom of the third inning when you're up 5-0, it felt like the wind was out of your sails, but that's exactly what happened. And as this game carried on, it felt like the inevitable was coming for the Reds. But in the top of the fourth, the Indians finally got on the board after a Stephen Kwan walk, Manzardo doubles, and then Santana singles, making it 5-2 Reds. And then in the top of the fifth, Bo Naylor homers, making it 5-3. And the top of the eighth, Jose Ramirez homers, making it 5-4. But that was it. Your pitchers for tonight were right-hander Brady Singer going for the Reds. He went 5 innings, gave up 3 runs on 3 hits and 3 walks and 4 strikeouts. For the Guardians, see, told you it was going to happen. It's coming again. Right-handed pitcher Tanner Bibee, which I would have said Bibby all day long had I not listened to it a million times tonight, goes 6 innings, gives up 5 runs, 4 of them earned, 10 hits, 1 base on balls, and 4 strikeouts. Emilio Pagan comes in and slams the door for your Cincinnati Reds and gives us the save. But yeah, a great night. 5-4 Redlegs win. Feels good to get off on the Ohio Cup on the right foot. being from Guernsey County, Corey, you and I, we hang out with a lot of Guardians fans, man. It's really tough. It's we're right in the battleground. We're kind of in the trifecta between the Indians, the Guardians, the Pirates, and the Reds. So we are few and far between Reds fans over in Guernsey County, but proud night for us to stand up and be excited about our Red Legs, feeling like something's starting to turn around. And I believe it starts with Will Benson.
Oh, and you're exactly right. Willie B has been providing the spark here lately, man. It's nice to have that power in the middle of the lineup. It just seems like he's bringing some energy that we've been missing for a while now. But definitely nice to see Will get a couple hits. Gavin got a couple hits. I think TJ Friedel was the only guy to not get a hit tonight, and even he drew a walk on his first at bat. So it was a good night offensively. Mike, what'd you think?
Yeah, I was just very excited to see, going into this, the numbers really did not tip in the Reds' favor. Brady Singer, I think the current Guardians were batting almost 500 off of him, and then the Reds were batting almost 161 off of Tanner Bibee. And but his one calling card that was really he was having trouble with were home runs, and that home run by Will Benson, I completely agree, really set the tone. And I don't know what the exact stat is, but just getting on the board first seems to really spark it with these Reds as well. So just getting that out there, I think was just huge. And it was really, really cool to see such a good energy team win there, because, we've been down in the dumps losing a series to the White Sox, but something like that, I hopefully, we can spark a winning streak here. We got 2 wins, but let's make it a little bit longer here.
Winning streak, boy, that's got a nice ring to it, huh?
I know.
Be nice to not only turn it around for the season, but turn it around in this Ohio Cup. We've definitely been struggling. I don't think we haven't held the Ohio Cup since 14, I think it was. So it's been a good drought, man. It'd be nice to see the Ohio Cup.
In our defense, the way that the rules work, and I don't know why this is, but is if you split the series, which often happens a lot, where it's like you win 2-2, it just stays with whoever had it last. So we've split the series a few times, but because Cleveland had it, it stayed with them. So it hasn't been as much of a blowout as it seems for them having it for almost over 10 years. But still, it would be nice. I think we played in 2-3 game series this time. So hopefully we got to win 4 games to take it.
Yeah, I'm glad we're getting away from those little 2-game series. That stuff drives me crazy, man. Let's just play a weekend series like normal baseball and be done with it. But from a rundown standpoint, man, topics we're going to talk about tonight, we're going to get into the DSC Deep Drive of the day. We're going to talk about the early start. The early start time was a little bit rougher, definitely for people working that 5-10 pitch. Definitely set some people back, but an early start for the game and an early start for the Reds offense. We're also going to talk about staying Willie hot. Willie's just been on fire here lately, and once again, man, I want to give the bullpen their flowers. I mean, we had the one hiccup with Santi on, but the back end of the bullpen definitely shirted up again, man, and it's quite the relief. We're always definitely holding our breath with Pagan in the 9th, but he seemed to buckle down tonight and get it done. So that's what we're looking at from a rundown standpoint. What are you guys thinking as far as the DSC Deep Drive of the day? We actually had a couple options here. We had Willie Benson's 361-foot 3-run home run, and we had Austin Hayes' 370-foot solo shot. As far as
I think Benson an impact there. I think that's got to be your deep drive of the game. The way that impacted the game and just what it gave these guys and the lift there in the second after, it's been a rough stretch, and he's proven himself to be an everyday player again and again.
Will Benson's was hit at 102.1 too. He got behind in the count too on some questionable calls, and then he just turned on one, and it was a laser beam out of here. I liked it. I like it. I'm down with Will Benson being our deep drive of the day too.
Absolutely. It is confirmed. Our DSC Deep Drive of the day is Will Benson's 3-run home run, traveling 361 feet, going 102.1 miles per hour off the bat. Our Deep Drive of the day is sponsored by Deep South Commodities. DSC is a leader in renewable commodities, biofuel production, specializing in used cooking oil collection, aggregation, and sales. Visit www.deepsouthcommodities.com for more information. Thanks as always to our friends from DSC. So getting into the early start, man, I tell you what, that was kind of a shock to the system in the middle of my day. I was in the barbershop till about 5 o'clock, and then first pitch was at 5:10. So it was nothing like rushing home, getting the hair off of me real quick, and trying to get ready for this stuff. I don't know about you guys.
I had committed to a honey-do list. Yeah, I'd committed to a honey-do list, trying to get ready. We got some in-laws coming in for the weekend. And in doing so, I'm like, yeah, I'll get the grass cut. And then I pushed it off. Then it's a 5-10 start. And I'm like, oh no. So I was on with the radio boys for the first 3 innings before getting a chance to come inside and take it all in. So, but no, it was a little jump to the system, but our guys took it and rolled with it. I feel like in the rain delays and things like that, we've kind of struggled, especially when those things push late into the night and just odd situations like extra innings and things. Our team hasn't fared well. So kudos to the guys for being able to take it in stride. Hopefully things don't get too terribly nasty down here around the Cincinnati area tonight, but everybody stay safe out there. I know the Zach Brown concert over at TQL was postponed for the evening. So, hopefully everybody gets a chance to get home safely and, we get out of this thing unscathed. So, but the early start and hitting early, and this feels like such and it might be the youth of the team. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but they pile on. When good things are going, everybody's happy. When bad things are going on, nobody wants to be the guy that puts their foot in the ground and turns it around. So it just feels like a momentum-based team, and for the most part, that's that ride, that wave of momentum is what these guys ride. And when you get a 5 spot, in the first 3 innings, that's a huge standing point. Although it does seem like Brady Singer gets a little bit lax on the mound once he gets a big lead. He did the same thing in Houston a couple weeks ago, where we get out to a big lead, we give him some run support, and then he gets shelled, an inning or 2 later. So just interesting to see how the mentality of everybody works. But fun to see, and man, having to be spearheaded by Willie Beeman. It's a lot of fun watching that guy be good at baseball.
Yeah, I was running around putting my kids to bed. I think I started putting them to bed in the 7th inning, and then I ran downstairs and it was the 9th. I was like, uh-oh, we got to get going. So those last couple innings flew by, partially because the Reds weren't, the offense was stuck at the beginning of the game. But yeah, I completely agree. I think that Will Benson is I think a lot of people like to call him streaky hitter, but he's more of like a confidence guy. When he is going up to the plate confident, yeah, he's going to strike out a few times, but he's going to get a hold of them. He's going to get a hold of pitches and take them out and give that power threat that so much of the lineup really is lacking recently. So, I mean, it made sense why they sent him to AAA. Now, did I think they held him there maybe a little too long? Maybe, but hey, what matters is he's here now. He's contributing. He's making defensive plays. That too, I think when he was playing center while Friedel was gone, he was tracking stuff down out there, which was great to see as well. I love it when, success on one side of the field leads to success on the other side. So I couldn't be more happy for this kid. He's clearly this great energy. I think you called enthusiasm or something like that. He's not quite leadership yet, but enthusiasm that he brings to this lineup is super, super helpful for some of the other players too. I think that Ellie feeds off that. Probably Matt McClain feeds off that type of stuff too. So just very excited to see him in the lineup and producing.
Oh, you're exactly right. And it's got to give the players confidence, because I know it gives me confidence as a fan just seeing him in the middle of the lineup. I mean, I'll never forget the game-winning home run he hit against the Dodgers a few years back, man. That might have been the most electric play I've seen for quite a while. I went to the barbershop the next day with no voice, screaming at the TV and all that. So just that electricity that he constantly seems to bring. I mean, back-to-back homers and back-to-back nights, that sort of stuff. And guys around it seem to feed off of it, man. So you're exactly right. And you even alluded to it earlier, him hitting that 3-run homer and us getting on the board first. When we get on the board first, man, we're a different team. It doesn't seem to be that, oh crap, we're down, we got to play from behind, that sort of stuff. When we get on the board first, it seems to bring our whole lineup confidence that we seem to run with, man. Thoughts on scoring first, Eric?
No, I mean, getting out of the gates. I mean, you've got somebody like Brady Singer that is probably going to give up 3 or 4 runs. I mean, his ERA is up to 5 after tonight.
Especially against Cleveland. Against Cleveland.
No doubt. Right. And it's a hot night. Ball's flying out. I mean, it was gusty in there. Some of the early fly balls seemed to track a little bit deeper than what we were expecting. And so you knew there were going to be some fireworks tonight. And thankfully you were able to keep guys off the bases. He did, pitch around 3 walks. But I think the bullpen guys, I don't think any of them did issue a free pass, if I'm not mistaken.
No walks.
Yeah, no walks from the bullpen. I mean, that's huge. And so when you can limit the damage that Ramirez does and that Naylor does, I mean, that's the key to the game right there. And that's what really bit Bibee too, or Bibee, when he, puts dudes on and we're able to advance them and get them around. And that's, that's part of your Will Benson 3-run dinger. It's, it's taking the cards that you're dealt and playing them as best as you can. But yeah, when you get out early and you've got Brady Singer back there, you're going to need every bit of support that you can get. And he seems to, again, have that magic touch. You must have bought him some good skyline last night or something.
That's right.
You're exactly right. And it even got to Brady Singer there for a minute. He put the one walk on, and the guy ends up scoring. That leadoff walk absolutely drives me crazy. I was looking up the numbers on it, and I was getting anywhere between 25 and 35%. You put that leadoff walk on, he is coming around to score. So as soon as that leadoff walk gets on, my first thought is, here we go. You know what I mean? So as long as we can keep from those walks, like you say, that definitely bodes well for the back end for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so when you get these guys going early and you've got that opportunity to see Will Benson hit a home run like that, it's a more exciting brand of baseball too. And there's a big night down at the ballpark tomorrow night. You got Mr. Red Race car bobblehead night. They're trying to get ready for that big game down at Bristol. And if you are looking for tickets to either tomorrow night or the August 2nd game down in Bristol, Game Time is the official ticketing partner of Chatterbox Sports. I've used Game Time. I actually used Game Time today. I bought some Cincinnati Open tickets, getting ready for the tennis tournament coming up later this year over in Mason. So really excited for that. But Game Time is super easy especially if your credit card's already loaded in there. If you're going back and using them for the second time, to buy with one tap. That feature is incredible. If you go by on other sites, you jump through a million hoops and things like that. But Game Time is where it's at in terms of being quick, efficient, straight to the point. The all-in pricing shows you your real total with fees and everything included before you have to go check out and get surprised by a million fees. You get panoramic seat views in the app, event cancellation protection. So let's say tonight's game had gotten canceled and wasn't made up, you would have gotten your money back there. They have a lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CBOX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. But again, create that account, redeem the code CBOX for $20 off. And we appreciate Game Time for always being a part of what we do here at Chatterbox Reds.
Oh, absolutely, man. And it's getting time to get that app out, man, because now we got the Cincinnati FC starting and down at TQL and that sort of stuff too. So yeah, definitely get you some Reds tickets, but also check out the concerts and stuff that are on there too. There's always pretty good pricing for that stuff.
Yeah, Riverbend set I think kicks off next week as well.
Oh, absolutely. Never a bad night. Never a bad night at Riverbend. That's for sure.
No,
but we've kind of
out there on the turf.
Absolutely. We've kind of already got into it, man. But getting into the third topic, it was staying Willie hot. I mean, Willie Benson has been on fire. So we kind of powered through that one a little bit, man. But just getting
I think could we talk a little bit about Austin Hayes?
Absolutely.
I think he got it. He had his home run too. And I was a little shocked because everyone kind of was ready. Hey, you're coming back from the IL. You come save this team. And he really scuffled out of the gate. But he's got a hit in his last 3 games. He got that home run. And I thought that he was probably safe on that bad throw in I think it was the first inning that he got tagged out.
Yeah. Tagged on the helmet.
At the very beginning. Yeah. I was like, that looked pretty close. That looked like stands to me. But, it's just good to see him hitting the ball hard and start spraying the ball everywhere. I've looked at some numbers of like what it was before he showed up and then when he showed up and then after he got hurt. This Reds team is just different because when they can have that bat in the middle of the lineup that can give Ellie some protection, means that we can be batting Lux against the right platoon. We don't have to have him batting against left-handed pitching and things like that. He just opens so much up for this ball club. So I'm just excited to see that he's really starting to, he gets his home run today. I think he had 2 hits today. So just being able to see that, I'm excited to see him get hot again so that we can kind of have a good 1 or 3, 4, 5 in the batting order there.
Yeah, absolutely. With Ellie being in the 3-hole and then plus having Austin Hayes' power and Willie Benson's power, it just makes this lineup look completely different. When we got the guys that can actually get on base, we don't have to play the small ball and stuff to get them over when you've got the power from Austin Hayes and Will Benson to drive them in. So I completely agree with you there, man. Having Austin Hayes as a spark and just please, can we keep my guy healthy? Let's just keep my guy healthy so we can stay in the lineup, man. His best ability is availability for sure, but let's I like what he brings to this offense.
with Will being hot, it's one of those situations where now you've got, if Hayes is contributing, and if he's your stalwart and hitting fourth every day and playing left field, TJ's going to play center field every day. If you're to a situation where you've got Benson and Reese Hines splitting that time in right field, which Benson's going to Benson keeps going like he's going to push to be an everyday guy too. But I don't know that we're all the way there yet, especially versus a left-handed pitcher. But you've got a situation where you're starting to see some guys really settle into some roles, and that's going to give you that opportunity to go find. Is Connor Joe your best option as a pinch hitter? Is whoever it is coming off the bench? Is it Trevino? Is it it gives you that ability to continue to carry three catchers to give Austin Wins that opportunity to get hot again. It does so many things to settle out the lineup when you can get some consistency out of the corners, because those were the big question marks. And now that Espinal's starting to come back down to earth with the batting average and things like that, he's not as hot as he was, and getting him out of the 2-hole, I feel like needs to be our one of our discussions here today as well. But when you've got that lineup mixture of you've got a solid opportunity to attack left-handed pitching now with the Reese Hines and the Espinals and Trevinos and things like that. But now against righties, Will Benson is sticking in there and doing something that Jacob Hurtubise never even came close to doing for us. And he's doing it with some power, which nobody in the lineup would be close to doing for us. I think that's home run today. I think that makes it 9 on the season overall for him. Or it might have taken him to 10 if you add in what he's done in the minor leagues. I mean, it's not a Johnny-come-lately thing. He's hitting the ball hard, and he's been hitting it hard since April. So kudos to him. Happy for Will. Happy for Hayes. The corner outfield is a spot that we've been complaining about for most part of this season. And when we get shut out, we look straight to the corners of the outfield and corners of the infield for the reasons why. But it's a good time. And you have a table setter in Ellie, and I love seeing him up there in the 3-hole and things like that. Again, tonight he takes 4 at bats. He gets on base twice, once with a hit and once with a base on balls. So the top of the lineup still producing. Matt still has a good night. I think he takes a walk as well and has a hit. And so when those guys are on base and creating the havoc, it's those bottom of the lineup guys. If you can get any kind of contribution from down there, you're going to stand a chance to win 80% of your ball games, and we're going to be in a good spot come the All-Star break. At least we keep this thing going. But it also feels like the warm weather's helped these guys as well. It's first couple of games above 80 degrees, and all of a sudden our bats get hot. So maybe it's just a warm weather club, and now's when we roll.
Yeah, it's also been just like really crappy weather. Like we're like in delays, and then it's just still sprinkling, or we're in Colorado and there's just a fog cloud over everything. You can't even see pop-ups and stuff like that. So I think they've gotten a little unlucky too when it comes to some of the crappy weather that they've been dealt beginning of the season. Let's hope that we can get some warm days and the ball flying out of Great American Ballpark. The chat's bringing up Jake Fraley. It seems like he's going to be staying on the IL for a little bit. And when he's ready to come back, he might have an extended rehab stint, because if I don't see how you bring him back and give him any at bats over Will Benson right now.
No, and I believe Jake's still got options too. I think he can actually stay down. So yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that. Don't let him see your backup. Corey, you and I have talked about it before. Stevenson fell into the trap. He let him see your backup, and Jose Trevino has been great. Jamer Candelario got hurt, and they let Noel V. Marte took that spot. Don't let him see your backup, man. I'm telling you, it's a bad news. It's bad news. You don't want to see it happen. And now Fraley goes down. Hurtubise and Dunn can't produce. Don't let them see your backup, because here comes Will Benson and Reese Hines, and they're going to start hitting the ball out of the ballpark and playing a little bit of Bash Brother ball, and I absolutely love it. It's a more exciting brand of baseball. It really is.
And we don't have a lot of depth when it comes to the outfield, but when you start talking stuff like that, I mean, you can get Fraley right, and we just talked about Benson being a real streaky hitter, so like it kind of gives you an option to move some guys around and piece together our best lineup on a night in, night out basis in those dog days of July and that sort of stuff. When guys are, streaking up and streaking down, it gives you some options to mess with. So if you can get Jake Fraley playing right in AAA, get him hot for when we need him, it's nice to have that in the back pocket.
And as long as you have options to play with, we always have something to complain about when the lineup comes out every day.
Right. That's true. That's true. Speaking of lineup, let's talk a little bit about that. Espinal in the 2-hole. I think, Eric, you've already talked a little bit about how that wasn't your favorite. McLean moving down to 9th. I wasn't too upset with that, just as, we kind of use 9th as that, turn the lineup over, almost that second leadoff guy. It really only matters your first time through, and then, where you bat in the lineup is not necessarily that big of a deal. But what were you guys' thoughts on the lineup and how maybe you'd like to see it going forward?
I heard Tito in an interview before the game with Lance McAllister, and he said that McLean was batting ninth tonight because he wanted to break up a little bit of the left-handed bats that we had going through the lineup because of the way that the Indians or the Guardians bullpen is set up. They're heavy left-handed out there, and they've got some dudes that could come in. He didn't want them to have the opportunity to just mow it down, and so that's why the move from 8 to 9. But in the same breath, he also said that he doesn't want to bring McLean back up to the 2-hole until he knows he's going to get there and stay there. And so it may be a while. We may see Matt get hot for a week or two, and everybody's going to be clamoring for him to get up there. But Tito's, he kind of mentioned he doesn't want to get him back into that 2 slot until it's all said and done. And he knows he's going to be there for a significant period of time. So I'm okay with it. I actually think the best 2-hitter we might have is TJ Friedel. But then it's who's your leadoff. You know what I mean? Like I would almost flip Friedel and Espinal at this point, just because there's no power in what Espinal brings to the table. He's got fewer base or extra base hits than Will Benson does. And Will Benson's been here for 7 games now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's not, you're in the 2-hole. You have to have some sort of power because if your leadoff guy does his job, which he is, and especially when you've got Matt McLean hitting 9th, who's like having a second leadoff hitter in innings, like there's a situation there where power is needed. And all you're doing is really, setting yourself up to, you're really putting all the pressure on Ellie to bring it in at the 3-hole. And I don't like that. I would rather have an opportunity of somebody else having some pop and then Ellie, leading off an inning or kind of re-leading off the inning, with the bases cleared or something along those lines. I'm not a no power in the 2-hole guy. I hate that situation that we've got there.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Corey, what do you think about it?
Well, honestly, I really kind of like to switch up the other day when we had Gavin Lux batting lead off because that's a consummate, professional at bat every time he comes to the plate. But I'm kind of with you, Eric. I kind of like having that speed and a little bit of power there in the 9-hole to turn the lineup over. I'm a bat Ellie higher guy, but there's no reason to die on that hill tonight. So I guess I'm okay with Ellie being in the 3-hole. I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more power in the 2-hole right there. As far as what my answer is, it's probably not Santiago Espinal, and maybe
say Will Benson. Say Will Benson. Go ahead, be that guy.
I don't know about that much power in the 2-hole, but he's got enough speed. I mean, guy's 91 percentile as far as speed's concerned. So you're not missing anything as far as on the base pass with Will Benson being in the 2-hole.
And Mike, you may know a little bit more about this because you're more of an analytical guy than we are. But that Gavin Lux, I mean, you can't get thrown out of home plate there. That's slow speed. Yeah, that's Tyler Stevenson foot speed.
I don't know. We'll have to look at what that is. Gavin Lux, I think, has even stolen a couple of bases. I think part of it was an incredible throw. I don't know.
Yeah, it really was.
I was watching.
And he got his momentum going too.
Yeah,
he circled that ball really well, playing it to his left. Yeah.
It almost looked like that ball was going to be over his head for how far he went, and then he came in. But yeah, I mean, it was a great throw. But you're right, man. That really, you mentioned it earlier. I think that really did turn the momentum of the game because they came in and got 2 runs right in the next half inning. So I was just like, it was tough because it was like I was in the moment excited. I was like, look at that. We had a guy on third with less than 2 outs. We're fine. We're doing our job, right? We hit a sacrifice fly. We hit a sacrifice fly. He got on second base. We moved him over with a ground ball and we got a sacrifice fly. And then he throws him out. And he's just like, oh gosh. Right. It was a little frustrating, but yeah, I think, back to the lineup, I think I'm okay with Espinal there against left-handed pitching. He's shown that he's done well against left-handed pitching and maybe doesn't have power, but there was one where it was, I forget what game it was, but leadoff guy got on, then I think this was Houston. Leadoff guy got on, Espinal bunted him over, but then beat out the throw on a bad play and then Elliott a home run. It's like, if, some version of that I'm still okay with. It's the, having him bat second against a righty, a guy where his splits are pretty pronounced. It's tough. I'm trying to look at some of these he's down to 51 WRC plus against right-handed pitching, which 100 is average. So we're talking almost 50% worse than league average. Now against lefties, he's great. He's at 134 WRC plus against lefties. So it's like this guy to me seems like a great, put him in there. But like we discussed, I don't know who we put in there. You mentioned Benson, right? And then we have that lefty issue, right? We have Friedel and Benson lefty at the beginning at the top of the lineup. They
But
bring
you're
in a
talking
hard-
about doing that against the right-handed pitcher, though.
Yeah,
And that's the nice thing is I feel like Benson and Hines are a very good just one for another. You don't lose much with either one of them. They're the same
just
player. I
pinch
feel
hit
like,
and things like
yeah,
that.
just pinch hit. Yeah, if it gets to a spot where you're having to get to that bullpen and they bring in the lefty, okay, we go to Reese Hines and it's a very easy flip of the switch, and we've got you still got that power from the right side now, and and Espinal can be there too. But I like Espinal off the bench once we get Noelvi Marte back and healthy. But it's kind of interesting how there's been a lack of injury updates on a lot of these guys that have taken off, because I'm not sure that a lot of folks realize, now that Benson's going well and rolling, but Jamer Candelario's still out, Jake Fraley's out, Noelvi Marte's out. You've got Wade Miley making a comeback. CES is out.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of dudes on this roster that were here on opening day or were projected to be here on opening day that aren't a part of this thing right now. And if you get on a winning streak, you start to realize the door closes on some dudes that you were counting on to be a very significant piece of this thing. But the one spot I still do see, I believe he has a double tonight, and I feel like he is starting to see the ball. But I feel like we said this 2 weeks ago too. It's Spencer Steer at first base, and it's still. But defensively tonight, he actually played his butt off. He had a really good pick off an Espinal throw, and I feel like defensively he's fitting right in, and he's probably the best defensive first baseman we've got. I just don't know how long you hang on to defensive first base when you've got some bats that you'd like to see get in the lineup.
Yeah, I think that Connor Joe move was as much for first base as it was for corner outfield.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
Because I think he plays some pretty good defense there. Connor Joe does, and if Steer continues to struggle, I would bet that we start seeing Joe taking some more first base games.
And Jessam, I see you in the chat there. And that was actually what I was getting ready to bring up as well. I don't know if you guys saw the Chatterbox Twitter feed today, but Reese Hines is actually taking ground balls at first base today. So it's one of those things that that was me that tweeted it out and said, it feels like the vultures are circling on a specific first baseman here with the Connor Joe move and the Reese Hines starting to take balls at first. It's time to crap or get off the pot when it comes to this baseball, because we're either going to hit with you or we're going to hit without you. It's your call, but we're going to hit, and we're going to continue to, try to stack these runs up and get some wins on the board here.
Yeah. Ricky and I were talking about that today too, during the pregame show. It's one of those things where I think on that video, Zach Kozart commented about how it was just so much better to know that you had somebody like Joey Votto scooping you at first base. So I like the initiative to get him there. I'm not sure how soon we'll see Reese Hines there, just because it's like, who do we have at shortstop, right? Ellie De La Cruz, what's his issue? He's throwing wild every once in a while. You want somebody there that can just gobble up any mistake that he has. So I wonder how much, getting his bat in the lineup is worth him potentially not scooping, a crucial double play or something like that. So that's all stuff that, I'm glad he's trying stuff out, but you never know. Having that defense there to kind of fix any errant throws oftentimes is something that's pretty easily overlooked.
And you've got a shortstop that's very susceptible to errant throws. That's the downside. So maybe you're robbing Peter to pay Paul by playing a defensive first baseman to get Ellie's bat and Ellie's glove under control, but then he can't hit, but it's okay. Ellie's going to make up for it. So kind
nice
of double-edged sword both ways there.
It'd be nice to have a backstop over there. It makes you wonder what happened with Austin Wynns and Tyler Stevenson and that sort of stuff. Like we were looking to get those bats in the lineup for a minute and trying those guys out at first base, but that didn't seem to work. So hopefully it works out a little bit more with Reese Hines and the Connor Joe addition, giving Spencer Steer a blow to just to add a little bit of offense to it, a little bit more pop there coming from the corner infield.
Yeah, and I feel bad, but it feels like the 500 hitter in May, Austin Wynns, might not be long for this team as dudes get healthy. I feel like the 3-catcher thing might be one of the first triggers they pull. But it's one of those things that if he does have to go down, appreciate his service in the month of May. But talking about going down, if you are, we want to remind you that you can call and text 988 anytime, day or night. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is a place to get support for anything related to mental health, whether it's an immediate crisis, simply wanting to find out how to connect with care, or anything in between. It's 100% confidential, secure, and anonymous way to reach out for help when you don't have anywhere else to turn. To connect, call or text 988 or mantherapy.org to get help. It's okay not to be okay. Well, fellas, it's one of those nights where it feels good. It was a game, I think on the money line, we were plus 180 or something like that before the game started. So not a game that the books had us winning. And so you snatch one that you weren't expecting to win. I'm not sure that we expect to win tomorrow. Mike, who they have going tomorrow?
Yeah, so they announced it during the game. They're actually bringing up Slade Ciccone. Slade Ciccone is making his first start of the year. He went on the IL with an oblique injury. He actually was with the Diamondbacks last year and did face the Reds twice. The first time that he faced them, it's interesting. He faced them in back-to-back starts of his. So I think we played Arizona in Cincinnati, and then we went to Arizona and played them there again. And in his first outing, he went 5 innings, 1 earned run, only 2 strikeouts. Classic Reds letting a new pitcher just mow us down for the first time through. But the week later, when we faced him, he gave up 6 earned runs, only 2 strikeouts, 3 home runs off of him. So it looks like the second time they saw him, they were able to get a little bit more success out of them. I don't have any in front of me how each one of the batters did against him. But, this is somebody, Blake Lively was just, our old friend Blake Lively was just put on the IL. And so they're bringing this guy up, making his first start of the year. Let's hope that the vaunted TBD doesn't come to bite the Reds again now that we've gotten our first win.
I don't want to call out an error, but that's Ben Lively, right? Because Blake Lively's smoking hot. Like that's not.
I mean, I can see why your mind goes to Blake Lively.
You're right. I meant Ben Lively. You're right.
You're all good.
It's a Freudian slip there. Yeah,
I was just reading here.
And
you're good.
Go ahead.
You're good. No, and then that's he's going for the guards, correct? I mean that's
correct.
There, and that's going up against
Chase Petty.
He's Ciccone's a righty, correct?
Yes. That's correct.
I was just reading here. It said he started in Columbus on the 12th. He went 5.2 innings, 6 hits, no walks, and a rehab start in Columbus on the 12th. So, be interesting to see what the Reds can jump on this guy early and not make an all-star out of a first-time starter.
Yeah, and with Chase Petty going again, he's had 2 kind of tough starts. Do you think we can see him bounce back here against Cleveland's offense?
It's weird to see that they're going to run him out there a third time. I really thought this might be somebody different or a bullpen game. I was kind of wondering, they moved Rhett Lauder before the game. They moved his rehab assignment to AAA, and so I feel like we're starting to get knocks on the door there. Am I confident that he's going to get there? No. Second start in a familiar ballpark, I hope so. It's warm weather. Should be decent tomorrow night by first pitch after the storms blow through tonight, but I don't know. He's a young guy. I don't know what's in his head at this point. Like I don't know what the upside's there. I mean, the breaking stuff's there. I mean, everything's there. It's just I think it's in between the years. He's got to get it figured out. If he can settle in and get us 6 innings tomorrow, I'd be ecstatic. If he can give us 6 innings of 3-run baseball, I think we win the ball game. But we'll have to wait and see. I think you could have 2 young cats out there trying to get it figured out, and it's going to be who flinches, and either that or it's going to be a dog pile of run after run on both sides. So, no matter how Petty starts, you got to be ready with somebody coming out of the bullpen. So hopefully Suter's rested up. I know Graham goes tonight, but can Graham go multiple innings? Is Lyon Richardson healthy? You've got to have everybody ready to go because you've had to break glass in case of emergency twice with Chase Petty. So it's about that time that he eats it for the team, or if he gives up 10 earned runs and then gets sent down to AAA, but he happens to make it 5 innings, let him eat his sandwich, man. Like that's what it's got to be, because it's, at some point in time, you can't sacrifice the health of the rest of the ball club to benefit a young pitcher here.
I mean, you're exactly right. And I was kind of with you. I thought we might see another arm. Everybody's waiting on Chase Burns to make his debut, but this might be the one. This might be the last one if it doesn't go well. As far as that's concerned, we may not see him again till the end of the summer, but his mistake pitches, when he makes a mistake, he's leaving it out over the plate. You definitely don't want to do that against Manzardo and Jose Ramirez and the likes, because they'll make you pay for it, especially in our little bandbox of a ballpark. But I'm cheering for him. Go, Go Chase Petty. I really, really hope so. I'm hoping my guy Optimistic John's a little more optimistic tomorrow, man. Let's get behind this kid. Let's ride him out a little bit, my guy.
Optimistic John predicted that Cleveland would win 1-0 today. So.
Okay.
He didn't live up to his name. But we did. I was glad to see that we proved him wrong there. I'm with you. I think they're in this weird spot where they thought they might be able to get Hunter Green back by today or by tomorrow. He said it was not that bad of an injury or something like that. And And it's where Hunter Green's not quite ready. I don't think Rhett Lauder is quite ready either. He kind of got hit around in his start in AAA. So I would imagine the leash is short for Chase. And to be honest, that's why this win today is so huge, right? It's like the deck was stacked against you. What'd you say? Plus 185, and you find a way to win. That's huge, especially when you got this young guy who, we're hoping doesn't blow up the bullpen, but the odds aren't in our favor there. And,
Right.
We're having to have Lyon Richardson pitch 3 innings, Suter pitch 2 innings, and then get into people that pitched today. And then we have to go into the final day with everyone spent. And so, I really hope this guy, that Chase Petty, can start to figure it out. I think so much of it is between the years. He's got some good stuff. I would hope I kind of want him to throw some of his breaking stuff more. I know that sometimes that stuff is hard to control, especially when you're really amped up, pitching in the big leagues. It's just that the energy is way different than it is in Louisville. But his fastball has just kind of been, he's got the velocity, but the shape on it is just something that the batters are seeing. So it would be really cool to see him just like, all right, we're going to go 2 times through the order. We're just going to pepper them, pitching them backwards like Cowboy used to says, get some of those, get the breaking balls in there, maybe even get some quick fly ball outs or ground ball outs, and then get to the bullpen with a lead. That'd be such a win. I know, like we said when Singer's pitching, we were like, get through 5, please. Get through 5, please. With Chase Petty, I'm like, get through 4. Maybe,
yeah.
please.
Right.
Yeah. 4, and the game isn't completely out of reach, please. So hopefully he's able to do that. I think the future's still bright. I think he still can be a number 3, number 4 starter in the 2026 or the 2027 Reds lineup, with Chase Burns at the top, with Hunter Green and Rhett Lauder, and even Andrew Abbott. Like that sounds like nails, and Nick Lodolo, right? There's still so many different things that we can be able to in there. I hope that he's able to do some development here in the major leagues, and we can see some dramatic improvement from what we've seen the first couple starts.
Yeah, and I think tonight gives you that little bit of glimmer of hope, and it's the turning of a new leaf when you don't get the best pitching out of your starting rotation and you still win a ball game. Benson, or Brady Singer's given up 4 runs tonight, like that, or giving up 3 runs in 5 innings. It's not great starting pitching. He's got an ERA of 5, but you've still got belief in this team, and that's the important part about starting early. I would like to see them win a game from coming from behind at some point in time, because I'm still not 100% sure we know how to do that. We're like a beaten dog. Once it's down, we kind of keep our head down and tail between our legs and stay down. But I hopefully it's one of those things that this team finds its moxie and can get it figured out, because there's a lot of baseball left to play, and there's a lot of really big games coming up here at the end of the month that if we can go one more time through this rotation, then get our ace back in Hunter, and hopefully Lindolo's getting right, and we can kind of get this thing going. It seems like Nick Martinez has found a couple of different opportunities to be more effective. Getting through 6 yesterday was a big plus, and saves the bullpen coming into this weekend series. So like you said, don't if you're going to get beat, don't get beat early. Like, die slowly if you can for us, Chase. But no, I have a little bit of confidence that he's able to go out and figure it out. At some point in time, you got to be, you can't get much worse. You know what I mean? Like, he's got to hopefully, and he's got that mindset too, and that's able to calm his nerves and give himself a chance to take a deep breath and say, hey, I deserve to be here. I've got the accolades. I've got the equipment here to make this thing work. If in between the years I can settle myself down and get this thing going, I think he's going to be in a good spot. But we'll find out tomorrow. That's the beauty of this thing. But I think that's we're going on about a 40-minute show here. So if you guys want to wrap it up, any final thoughts or anything before I take us out of here?
Mike, go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, it's fun to be on here when they win. I just the atmosphere in the chat, on social media, in my house, my wife will tell you I'm just a nicer guy to my wife and my kids when the Reds win. So I appreciate that. I'd like for us to go. I think my wife wants us to go on a winning streak just as much as I do, just so that my mood is better. So I'm just glad to be. Thanks for letting me join, guys. I appreciated it. I thought we had some great conversation. Hopefully we'll be able to conjure up another Reds win for tomorrow.
Absolutely. We are 1-0 with Mike. I think Eric and I's record moves to 3-2. So as far as Reds baseball is concerned, we're playing winning baseball, baby. Let's keep that
That's
one
right.
going. And there ain't nothing like getting right against the Cleveland Guardians or Indians or whatever you want to call them. I like beating Cleveland, so let's keep that going too.
Yeah, absolutely. Got everything you can to beat Cleveland anytime and everything. So yeah, appreciate you, Mike. It was a blast having you. I think the dialect back and forth and everything's good. So yeah, no, as we, kind of close things out here tomorrow, we've got a 6:40 start. We've got Chase Petty versus, give me that name one more time, Mike.
Slade Saccone.
Slade Saccone. I'm going to guess Italian. I don't know,
Yeah,
but I'm guessing.
that's probably a pretty good bet.
Sounds like he's from Steubenville. But no, it'll be Chase Petty versus Slade Saccone at Great American Ballpark. It is Mr. Red Race Car Bobblehead Night. If you need a ticket, jump on Game Time. I will be in the ballpark for the first 5 innings before coming home to see everybody online and get a chance to say hey. And then I'll be at the ballpark on Sunday as well. So looking forward to getting down, man. If we could somehow sweep this first series in the Ohio Cup, I'd feel a lot better about going up to Cleveland for the second three.
Yeah.
But yeah, Corey T, you want to take us out?
As always, go Reds.